Gentlemen, let me ask you something that most men over 60 stay silent about. Why are your mornings no longer the same? Why does your confidence quietly slip away, even though you haven't changed anything? And why does your body respond slower and weaker right at the moment you need it most? Here is the surprising part. It's not because of low testosterone. It's not because age is stealing your strength. The truth, something most doctors never clearly tell older men, is this. Over 70% of male strength decline after 60 comes from one thing: weak blood circulation. But here is the shocking part. Fixing it doesn't require a blue pill, an expensive device, or any complicated therapy. It comes from a simple, familiar vegetable, one that, when you eat it in the morning, can restore circulation down there in just a few days. In a few minutes, I'll show you exactly what that vegetable is, why it works, and what hundreds of my male patients over 60 have experienced naturally and safely. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a board-certified urologist with 14 years of experience, specializing in helping men over 50 restore circulation, morning strength, and confidence using natural, science-based, age-appropriate solutions. For more than a decade, I've worked with hundreds of men who once believed they were past their prime. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Your body has never abandoned you. It's simply waiting for the right signal, the right nutrients to switch back on. Today, I'm going to give you that signal. Most men after 60 believe morning strength fades because of age. I'm old, that's normal. But I want you to hear this clearly. No, you're not broken. No, your body isn't failing. And no, your manhood hasn't disappeared. Throughout my 14 years of practice, I've met countless men who believed they were past their prime, that weaker blood flow meant they were losing their masculinity. But the deeper truth is this. This is not an age problem. It's a circulation problem. And circulation can be improved faster than you might think. When nitric oxide drops, blood vessels stiffen, and the flow weakens. That's when you feel tired, less confident, and quietly endure things because you don't want to bother anyone. But you're not alone. Many men just like you in the U.S., in Canada, in Europe, have regained their strength simply by making one small change in their morning routine. And before I show you that change, I want to know a little more about you, because every man has his own story. Leave a comment below. How old are you? And where are you watching this from? This helps me understand my audience better and connect with you the same way I would with a patient sitting right in front of me. Now, imagine this. Your blood vessels are like soft, flexible tubes. When you were younger, these tubes opened easily, allowing strong blood flow everywhere, especially to the most sensitive area. But after 60, something begins to happen silently inside your body. Nitric oxide, the signaling gas that relaxes your blood vessels, drops by more than 70%. Without this signal, your vessels become stiffer, narrower, less responsive. And when those tubes can't open anymore, a flow that once rushed like a waterfall now becomes just a small trickle. That's why your mornings changed. Not because you're weak, not because your hormones gave up, but because the blood simply isn't getting there with enough force. Let me make this clear. When nitric oxide is low, blood struggles to enter the penis. When blood can't enter, erections become weaker, shorter, harder to maintain. When this keeps happening, your confidence and emotional connection start to suffer. And the painful thing is that most men are never told this. They think, I'm done, I'm broken, I'm weak. But the truth is completely different. Your body isn't broken. It's just missing the right fuel. And beetroot, the vegetable I'm about to talk about, is exactly the fuel your blood vessels have been begging for. The nitrates in beetroot act like a backup supply for nitric oxide. When you drink it in the morning, nitrates convert into nitric oxide blood vessels, relaxed circulation wakes up, and blood flow to the important area becomes strong again. It may decline slowly over the years, but it can recover within just a few days when you give your body the right signal. That's why you need to hear the next part, the most important part of this video. You may have heard of hundreds of foods that are good for men, but there's one vegetable that shows up in almost every study about circulation: beetroot. Simple, accessible, inexpensive, and most importantly, loaded with natural nitrates your body converts into nitric oxide, the number one signal that helps open blood vessels, increase blood flow to the critical area, improve your mornings, boost energy throughout the day, support deeper sleep. And here is the best part. When you take it at the right time, first thing in the morning, the results multiply dramatically. I've seen men at 62, 70, even 78 years old regain strength they thought was gone simply by drinking half a cup of beetroot juice every morning. This isn't magic. This is biology, and your body still responds powerfully when you give it the right signal. But before I show you how to use beetroot for the best results, we need to talk about the 5 most common mistakes men over 60 make. These are the mistakes that cause a powerful vegetable like beetroot to lose up to 70% of its benefits, preventing circulation from improving the way you expected and making you believe there's no hope left. But with just a few small adjustments, you'll see your body respond faster than you ever imagined. Let's start with the first mistake, and it's the most serious one. Mistake number 1, ignoring nitric oxide, NO. Many men think the problem is testosterone, but in the male body, the real factor that determines strength is this: nitric oxide, the signaling gas that opens blood vessels. When NO drops sharply after age 60, a blood flow that once rushed like a river turns into a thin trickle squeezing through a narrow tube. And that's when you begin to notice mornings that are no longer firm, shorter duration and weaker quality, feeling like you can't connect with your partner, low energy throughout the day. The painful truth is this: most men don't realize that beetroot is one of the strongest natural sources of nitrate, and nitrate is the raw material your body uses to create NO. When NO is low, even if your testosterone is normal, circulation stays weak and performance declines. Your body isn't broken. It's simply starving for nitric oxide. Mistake number 2, not taking beetroot in the morning. A lot of men either don't use beetroot in the morning, or they take it at random times of the day. It seems like a small detail, but it cuts the effectiveness by more than half. Morning is the golden window because 3 important things happen inside your body at the same time. First, natural testosterone peaks in the morning. When nitric oxide from beetroot meets high testosterone, circulation fires up much more powerfully. Second, your blood vessels respond better in the morning. After a long night of rest, your vessels are like relaxed pipes, ready to open wide when they receive the right signal. If you take beetroot at night or midday, that signal becomes weaker. Third, an empty stomach helps nitrate absorb optimally. If you drink beetroot when your stomach is full, the conversion from nitrate to nitric oxide becomes weaker, making the improvement in blood flow slower and less noticeable. Many of my patients told me, "Doctor, I've been drinking beetroot juice for a week and I don't feel anything." But when I ask and find out they drank it at night or after meals, I know immediately the problem is timing. Just switching to 6-8 a.m. on an empty stomach improves the results dramatically. Firmer mornings, stronger energy, confidence returning. That's why mistake number 2 is so important. It's not that you used the wrong food, you simply used it at the wrong time, and your body couldn't receive the full benefit. Mistake number 3, eating the wrong breakfast, which shuts down the benefits of beetroot. Many men make this mistake without realizing it. They eat the wrong foods right after drinking beetroot, and it shuts off its powerful effects within minutes. This is something very few people know, yet it directly affects blood flow to the important area. After you drink beetroot, your body is actively converting nitrates into nitric oxide to open up your blood vessels. But if you immediately eat the wrong foods, that effect is almost completely cancelled out. The most harmful morning foods include, first, processed meats like bacon, sausage, and ham. These contain synthetic nitrites, preservatives, and high salt. They constrict your blood vessels. It's like trying to open a water valve, while someone else is turning it tighter. Second, refined sugar from pastries, donuts, croissants, and other sweet breakfast items. Sugar spikes your insulin, and a sudden insulin surge causes your blood vessels to tighten immediately. As a result, The nitric oxide from beetroot never gets to work. Third, too much caffeine on an empty stomach. One light cup of coffee is fine, but 2-3 cups back-to-back tighten your blood vessels and significantly reduce blood flow downward. I often tell my patients, beetroot is turning on the green light for circulation, but the wrong breakfast is slamming the brakes. So even if you drink beetroot every morning, if your breakfast includes processed meats, sugary pastries, or overly strong coffee, the recovery effect becomes almost zero. The best foods to support blood flow after 60 are a couple of eggs, half an avocado, whole grain toast, or a handful of nuts. These foods keep your blood sugar stable, help your vessels stay open, and allow nitric oxide from beetroot to work at full power. Mistake number 3 may sound simple, but it's the reason many men drink beetroot for an entire month and still see no results. Mistake number 4, preparing beetroot incorrectly or drinking it in the wrong order, especially brushing your teeth first. Many men never expect this, but drinking beetroot after brushing your teeth can destroy up to 80% of its effectiveness. Here is why. Your body cannot create nitric oxide from beetroot on its own. It needs the beneficial bacteria in your mouth to convert nitrate, nitrite, nitric oxide. And when you brush your teeth right before drinking it, those bacteria are wiped out. The nitrate to nitrite conversion drops sharply. Nitric oxide production fails. Circulation doesn't improve. A simple hygiene habit ends up eliminating most of beetroot's benefits. Preparation also matters. First, blending or juicing fresh beetroot works better than boiling it too long. High heat destroys part of the nitrate content. Second, beetroot powder is also effective, but only if it's pure beetroot powder without added sugar. Third, don't mix beetroot with carbonated water, strong coffee, or very hot liquids. I once asked a patient, "How do you drink your beetroot in the morning?" He said, "I brush my teeth first so my mouth is clean. Then I drink it." I smiled and said, "You just killed the entire army that helps you make nitric oxide." Once he simply reversed the order: drink first, brush later, he began noticing changes in less than 10 days. Sometimes the biggest difference comes from the smallest detail, a detail most men don't think matters. Mistake number 5, not staying consistent long enough for your body to restore circulation. This is also the biggest reason many men give up too early. They don't stay consistent long enough for their circulation to recover. A lot of men drink beetroot for 2-3 days, don't notice a dramatic change, and conclude, it doesn't work. But what they don't realize is this: their blood vessels have stiffened over many years. Nitric oxide has dropped by more than 70%. The vascular endothelium needs time to respond again. The body cannot transform overnight, but it always responds if you give it time and enough time. I typically see 3 very clear milestones. After 3-5 days, morning energy increases slightly, and a warm sensation in the pelvic area starts to return. After 10-14 days, mornings become noticeably stronger and more stable. This is when many of my patients call and say, "Doctor, I can feel it now." After 30 days, blood vessels genuinely reopen. Nitric oxide rises significantly, and the improvement becomes stable and long-lasting, not just a temporary boost. But there's only one condition to reach this stage. Stick with it every morning without skipping a single day. A man's body after 60 is incredibly precise. It responds exactly to what you give it, and it will reward you if you stay consistent. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you've lost your strength. You simply haven't given your body enough time to reopen the blood flow it's been waiting for. I want to share with you the story of Mr. Raymond, 72, a quiet, gentle man who carried a sadness many men of his generation silently endure. When he came into my office, he sat down and spoke softly. "Doctor, it's been almost a year since I've had a real morning. I feel like I'm not myself anymore." It wasn't physical pain. It wasn't a serious illness. It was the silence of his own body that made him feel disconnected from himself. Instead of giving him medication, I simply asked one question. "Are you willing to try one small change in your morning routine?" He nodded. I instructed him to drink half a cup of beetroot juice as soon as he woke up, and to stay consistent for at least 2 weeks, no skipped days. Mr. Raymond followed every step, and on day 13, he called me. I still remember his voice, surprised, relieved, and quietly proud. "Doctor, this morning I woke up and it was back. Natural, strong. I feel like I'm 10 years younger. No pills, no devices, no complicated therapy, just blood flow waking back up, and as the circulation returned, his confidence returned with it. He said something I've heard many times. I thought everything was over. Turns out my body still remembers, and I want you to realize this. Your body remembers too. It's just waiting for the right signal." Another patient of mine, Mr. Leonard, 66, is a perfect example of how a man's body never fully shuts off, it only falls asleep temporarily. When he walked into my office, he gave a hesitant smile and said, "I'm doing okay, doctor. It's just that I haven't woken up with confidence for almost 9 months. I figured it's normal at my age." I looked at him and gently shook my head. "It's not normal, Leonard. Your circulation is simply slowing down and we can wake it up." I gave him the same instructions I give many men. Half a cup of beetroot juice in the morning. Don't brush your teeth before drinking it. Avoid processed meats at breakfast. Stay consistent every single day. He wasn't expecting much. He just tried it. Because, why not? I've got nothing to lose. But on day 11, I received a message from him. "Dr. Carter, I have to tell you this. This morning I woke up and I could really feel the change. Not a little, but clearly, strongly, naturally. It feels like my body finally switched back on." I smiled as I read his message, not because of the result, but because of the relief and quiet pride I felt in every word he wrote. And I've seen this happen dozens of times. When circulation returns, the man returns. When mornings come back, confidence comes back. When a man feels like himself again, his relationships and emotional well-being transform too. Mr. Leonard's body didn't age out the way he thought. It simply needed a catalyst, a signal to remember how to function again. And you are in that exact same place. With one small change in your morning routine, everything can begin a new chapter. Now, for beetroot to deliver its full power, you only need to follow 4 simple steps. Step 1. Drink beetroot immediately after waking up. Choose one of these 3 options. Half a cup, about 120–150 milliliters of fresh beetroot juice. Blend 1 small beetroot into your morning smoothie. 1 tablespoon of pure beetroot powder mixed with warm water. The most important thing, drink it on an empty stomach so your body absorbs the nitrate fully. Step 2. Avoid brushing your teeth, right before or right after drinking. The bacteria in your mouth are essential for converting nitrate, nitrite, nitric oxide. If you brush too soon, the effect drops significantly. Wait 20–30 minutes after drinking before brushing your teeth. Step 3. Eat a circulation-friendly breakfast, not a circulation killer. Choose foods that help your blood vessels open. 2–3 eggs, half an avocado, whole grain toast, a handful of nuts, almonds, and avoid foods that make your vessels tighten. Processed meats, pastries and sweet baked goods. Excessive caffeine. Think of it this way. Beetroot turns the green light on the wrong breakfast, pulls the handbrake. Step 4. Stay consistent for at least 14–30 days. No skipped days. Your body needs time to allow the vascular endothelium to respond again. Rebuild stable nitric oxide levels. Bring back strong morning flow. Around 2 weeks, you'll notice the first signals. Around 30 days, the improvement becomes long-lasting. When you follow all 4 steps, your own body will show you the difference, the same difference dozens of my patients have experienced. Gentlemen, if you've made it this far, I want you to hear this slowly, clearly, as if I were sitting right in front of you. You are not too old, you are not too late, and you are not broken. The changes you're experiencing are not signs that your body is collapsing. They're simply signs that your body is asking for the right signal to reopen the flow that once ran powerfully through you. In more than 14 years of working with men over 50, I've witnessed incredible things. I've seen men at 60, 70, even 80. Men who thought their best days were over, yet with one small change, they felt their bodies wake up again. I've seen men who walked into my office embarrassed, and just weeks later, walked out with a smile they thought they'd never get back. I've seen marriages reconnect, warmth return to the eyes of both partners, and I've heard men tell me, "Doctor, I feel like myself again, and I want you to understand. That is within your reach too. It's not magic. It's not something distant or unrealistic. It's the result of real signals your body is still listening to. Beetroot is only the beginning. The steps you take each morning are the foundation, but it's your consistency, your willingness, and the way you choose to care for a body that has been overlooked for years that truly wakes up the strength already inside you. You still have so much left to experience. You still have the strength to live with confidence, and you still have the ability to bring back the parts of yourself that you thought were gone. Your body remembers. It's just waiting for you to give it a chance to prove it. Before we end today, I truly want to hear your story, what you're going through the weaker mornings, the changes that worry you, or the small signals you're just beginning to feel again. Any of these could become a source of strength for another man. Someone who feels confused and alone the same way you once did. Leave a comment below. What issues are you facing with circulation or morning strength? And after today's video, how will you start trying beetroot in your morning routine? A sincere comment from you might be exactly what another man needs to read right now. If you found today's video helpful, please hit like and subscribe, not for the algorithm, but because every interaction from you helps more men over 60 discover the truth about their bodies and regain the confidence they deserve. And remember, this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any health concerns, please consult your personal physician